and welcome, guys, to episode 7 or something, or 8, or one of those higher numbers of the Middle Ages comic
7,
book
you're
hour.
right.
It is 7.
You're right the first time. 7, because the last Ronin had 5, and this is the second issue of Kraven.
Yeah. But we also did a interview one with Jamie Johnson.
Some semantics.
Yeah, semantic. That's why I was going 7 or 8. You just don't know. How are we going, Ryan?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm living the dream. Got off work early just so we could record this at an unconventional hour. But I'm feeling good. Have you been reading anything other than Kraven?
Yeah. I've been getting. I think I might have. If you can't think of a next comic, I think I might have found another one. It's kind of topical because it's based on the new Superman movie, Superman Legacy, that's coming out from James Gunn. I've been rereading All-Star Superman, which is that's a 12-issue arc. Awesome. So it's a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth the read. It's a little bit of an sort of a half Elseworld story, sort of a. Yeah. It can be. It's open to interpretation. It can be set outside or inside canon. But yeah, it's actually quite good. So I've been reading that a little bit. That's about it reading wise at the moment. I've been wanting to do a lot more reading, but just haven't really had the time at the moment, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I've actually a controversial opinion. No, not opinion, controversial announcement. I've actually never read a Superman comic.
Well, not one at all.
I've never read one.
Wow.
I mean,
not even Red Sun.
No, dude, not even Green Sun or Blue Sun or any sun.
Well, Red Sun's a controversial Superman Elseworld where he lands in Russia instead of Kansas, so that's a really good one to read.
I've heard about them. I've seen a lot of the cartoon movies because Chris, our good friend Chris, he just watch this, watch that. I really loved the Flashpoint movie. That was incredible. Justice League Dark, that was a great movie.
Yep. Yeah, DC definitely know how to do an animated movie. I'll give them that.
100%.
I've pretty much watched. If I've not watched all of them, I have like one or two behind. But there's one for our Australian listeners. There's one on Netflix. The Batman one. I think it's the Doom That Came to Gotham, which is like a very H.P. Lovecraft kind of one. That's the latest one out at the moment, and I definitely highly recommend that. I'm pretty sure it'll be on HBO Max or Max for our American listeners. But yeah, definitely check that out. It's the Batman, the Doom That Came to Gotham. It's kind of a period piece. But yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Awesome. Well, look, we've got a lot to talk about. It's a great Kraven's Last Hunt issue. Again,
yes,
a lot of poetry. I'll be saying that a lot of words. I'll be saying poetry a lot. Get your drinks ready, guys. We're going to play a bit of a drinking game. But had some news pop up. One that I'm excited about and one that you might be excited about. There's all these Ninja Turtle crossovers, right?
Yes.
The Street Fighter, Stranger Things, Ghostbusters, whatever. Do you know what like one of the very first crossovers was?
No, not too familiar. Like, was it the Transformers or Ghostbusters or something?
No. This goes way back to like 80s or 90s. Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh, yeah. Usagi. Good old Usagi.
I've always loved Usagi. Well,
yeah.
Usagi is moving from IDW to Dark Horse.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
And we've got a new run coming. Oh, it's not really. It's not really a new run. It's the same run because it's the same writer. Stan Saki's been writing it since the begining. So it's a comic series been going for like 30, 40 years with the same writer. And I don't know much
kind of like Hellboy with Mike. I forget his name. You'd think I'd remember it, but same situation. The Hellboy has been written by the same guy since he came out. So very few people can say that they've actually done that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm excited. The new series is called Ice and Snow, and I have pre-ordered it. And I will be reading it, and I will tell you all about it when it comes out. I think it's out in December or something.
Well, speaking of Usagi Jimbo, I have been having a lot of fun playing him in the Ninja Turtles, the Shredder's Revenge. In the DLC, you can get him and play through arcade mode as Usagi Jimbo, and it's actually really cool. I think he's one of my favorite characters that came out in the DLC to play through. With because of the variety of different moves he's got. Obviously, he's got his swords, but obviously he's a rabbit, so he's very fond of kicks and punches. And I haven't read very much of him in the comic world, but I'm having a lot of fun playing through the story again with his character when the DLC dropped a couple of weeks ago. So that should be good. That might be a good point for me to jump on and have a read, especially if it's going from IDW over to Dark Horse. You know, that'd be good. Probably a good jumping on point.
Yeah. I've got a few of the comics. I got like the collections volume omnibus almost. I think. I got one that's a crossover with got Turtles and him in it because obviously these Ninja Turtles come out and then this guy's like, hey, a samurai rabbit. Obviously they have to meet.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's like Usagi's world, like they're all animals. So you got pig ninjas and and it's just like it's super creative and it's super fun. And he's pretty much a Ronin. He's like the last Ronin before there was the last Ronin with the Turtles.
The last Ronin,
because he is a Ronin. Usagi is a Ronin.
It's
probably where they got the idea from. Hey Kevin, if you're listening, is this where you got the idea from?
Well, seeing as how you and Kevin are good mates, maybe he is listening.
Hey, well, Kevin's got a signed copy of my book. I've got a signed copy of his book. So it's only fair. But
also speaking of the Ninja Turtles crossovers, I've been reading a new one. Well, not a new one to me. Is the Boom Studios put out a Power Rangers. But with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is actually really good, 6-issue limited run.
Yeah.
I'm about probably halfway through issue 3. But that's also pretty good. I mean, they never missed a spot with the Ninja Turtles crossovers. I think they, my favorites have been obviously the Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 100%. But. Some of the other ones, like the Stranger Things one's going great. I read the Street Fighter one not long ago. That was pretty cool. So I always like to see, as long as they keep it just like a mini series and it's kind of not set inside that universe, I don't mind checking it out at all.
Yeah. No, well, the comic series are clearly a lot better than the Power Rangers crossover in the 90s, the TV series.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We need a 5th turtle because there's 5 Power Rangers and they have to, it's like, come on, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, the second bit of news, something that you might already know about. There is a new Ultimate Spider-Man series coming out.
There is. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a new Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, Jonathan Hickman.
Yes, he's okay. With Jonathan Hickman, you're either going to really like him or you're going to really hate him. He's got like 4 PhDs, and he did a run on the Avengers and the Fantastic Four at the same time, which I really enjoyed. Back, I think, in around 2010, if I'm not mistaken. He likes to go in depth. His pages are full of words. Almost, more than, I would consider it almost book-like. Yeah. So it's going to be really, really weird to check this one out. But I pretty much will read anything Jonathan Hickman's written because he just the way he describes his worlds and the way that he describes his characters and everything and sets up. He's a real world builder. He's not afraid to take 5 years to get to an end game. In comics. So I did hear flutters of this on the interwebs. And I definitely, the Ultimate is by far my favorite Spider-Man run of all time. So I'm definitely keen to jump because we haven't had one since since Peter, unfortunately, since Peter Parker handed the reins over to Miles Morales in the comic world, and then sort of Miles Morales took over the Ultimate banner, but then during a big event, he was sort of brought into the 616 universe. So yeah, I'm keen to check it out for sure.
Yeah, and I pulled up what Jonathan Hickman's done. He's done House of X.
Yep, House of X. Yeah, recently he did that.
Yeah, the Daredevil's the Red Fist saga.
Yep, he did that as well. He done pretty much everything because for a little while they were very high. Marvel has always been very high on Jonathan Hickman. He wrote Thor for a little while. He did, as I said, his run on Fantastic Four is amazing. He did the Avengers and New Avengers. He's done a lot of stuff, and he looks like a Viking, which is always cool.
Yeah, I've just seen this picture.
He's got the big long. Yeah, he looks like a Viking. Him and a guy named Jason Aaron did a really good event called War of the Realms, which was kind of centered around Thor, where, you've got your different realms like Jotunheim and all the different realms and basically what happens if they all unite against Midgard. And basically the Avengers, Spider-Man, everyone got involved. It was a really good arc. So yeah, he's definitely a good writer, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings. Did they give it any idea on when it might be coming out?
No, I didn't pick up on a date.
Okay.
Maybe end of the year.
No, I'm keen.
So what do you say we crack into Kraven?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't unfortunately seen. I don't think there's been too much news on that I've seen on my side of things, comic related.
I like to keep us, people up to date. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of information out there, but you got to find the interesting ones. Like there's some stuff out there you go like, is that really interesting? Is that really news?
Yeah.
But then when there's a new comic coming out, then obviously people are going to get excited.
Well, I'm glad I saw that thing you posted. That digital media is making more of a comeback, which is good to see because that's going to keep the comics industry going for a very long time.
Yeah, at least with book sales, I didn't look up comic book sales, but like with book sales over the last 10 years, it's increased 33% on physical copies.
Good.
So but people just like holding stuff in their hands and flipping pages and
definitely. It's just,
and I get why digital is awesome because it's a space saver.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that they got rid of I'm glad that I got rid of most of my CDs, and they're all in digital or on my phone. If they if they made movies the same way, then I would probably have a whole lot of hard drives filled. Because I like to buy Blu-rays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but again, I have limited space.
Well, and it's also you can put that down to the quality nowadays of movies too, because there'd be a time. I know my current situation, I can't afford it, but even without it, there'd still be a time where okay, yeah, the latest, Marvel or whatever has come out, or the latest horror movie, I've got to grab it on Blu-ray. But I'm just finding with streaming and everything, it gives you a chance to watch it, and it's kind of saved me a bit of money because you're like, hold on, I don't think I want to spend $30 on this movie. I think the last Marvel one I bought was No Way Home. Wow. And Guardians would definitely be on the list for sure. Guardians 3, but I had no interest in buying Ant-Man. I had no interest in although I did really enjoy episode 1 of Loki, season 2, which came out last week. That was actually really good. I knew it was going to be good because IGN gave it a 5. And because IGN gave it a 5, I knew it was going to be quite a good watch. But I was going to watch it anyway because that's what I'm trying to do with my time off at the moment is I'm trying to keep up on those kind of things. But as a guy who couldn't make it past the 40-minute mark of Secret Invasion episode 1 and Secret Invasion and it should have been amazing because it had Samuel Jackson in it. But I've tried twice now and I cannot finish the first episode. To the fact that I watched Loki and I wanted more. So, but I think that comes down to the cast as well. You got people like Owen Wilson, you got Tom Hiddleston, You know, it just and I always forget this guy, and I really hate it. You know, the guy from Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. The guy who played Short Round, and I keep forgetting his name. Him and Brendan Fraser are making their movie comebacks at the moment, and he was really good. He was in the first episode, and he made that episode. It was really, really good. So, check it out. If all of you people are listening that have kind of dried off Marvel, I would definitely recommend giving it a watch. It was really enjoyable.
Awesome. Yeah. So. Issue 2 of Kraven's Last Hunt. It is called Crawling. You being the comic book expert, Ryan, there's a new character introduced in this.
There is.
You know where I'm going. And
I know who it is.
It is not the lady that falls down the sewer, unless you want to give me a backstory about her.
No.
But Berman. I swear I've heard him before. I don't know much about him, but do you just want to give us a breakdown? What do you know about Vernon?
So basically, Vermin was originally a Captain America villain, believe it or not. So he was created by Adam Zola, who we all know from the Captain America movie, who worked with the Red Skull, and also so basically his name was Edward Whelan. He was a geneticist, as they all are, as all of our characters that get turned into mutated animals. They're always scientists or geneticists. So basically, he was working for Baron Zemo and Arnim Zola. He was subjected to his own experimentation, which unfortunately mutated him into a human rat hybrid, and not in a good way like Master Splinter. Basically, it gave him what it did. It gave him the superhuman strength, predatory instinct, and the predatory instincts of a rat, but it also unfortunately diminished his mental capacity. So it took away his intelligence, which is unfortunate because he was quite a brilliant geneticist. He first showed up in Captain America 272 back in the best year of the world, 1982, which was my birth year. And he was also created by the guy who wrote Kraven's Last Hunt, J.D. Matteo, back in August of 92. So he has shuffled from, he's mainly been a Spider-Man villain, but he does still shuffle over to Captain America every so often. It's just
so be a bit like Kingpin. Kingpin was Daredevil and Spider-Man. There's always
definitely. He kind of shifted from, Marvel have a habit of that, we need a good villain, let's just, but mainly when the Spider-Man hit the 90s, he became a bit more of a player. I think he worked for Kingpin for a little while, Kingpin and Tombstone, so I think he found a way to get some of his intelligence back. But at this present time, he's in the status where he has been in this situation and this as this rat form for quite a while, but is still living in the sewers and beating off victims, as we say. But pretty much keeps to himself. He only ventures out to eat, really.
Cool. Well, now that you got the rundown of the man that you see, the rat man that you see pretty early on, just like last episode of the Middle Ages Comic Hour, I'm going to read through the overall synopsis kind of plot and chime in whenever you want, Ryan, and hit us with some trivia and some thoughts and audio commentary, as they call it.
No worries.
All right. Spider-Man lies buried while Kraven dons a Spider-Man costume to prove that he is the better of his foe in every way.
Well, I'll just jump in here quickly, just for viewers, and I'm sure like our knowledgeable viewers will know that this is not the actual. It's not the black suit that Peter was wearing when he was tranquilized by Kraven, so it's not the symbiote suit. It is a replica Kraven had made by one of the, I can't remember the guy's name. It wasn't the Tinkerer, but there was a famous costume designer who basically were during the day he would design costumes for the good guys, and at night time he would design costumes for the bad guys, and never the twain shall meet. So so just wanting to let you know, because that was when I started reading it for the first time. I'm like, hold on, this wouldn't happen because the symbiote relationship needs to be accepted on both sides. So it is just a little bit of a replica.
Yeah. Okay, well, Kraven pulls the mask off and laughs, his evil laugh that we know so well.
Maniacally, yeah.
Meanwhile, a woman who's running from the rain is pulled into the sewers by vermin, who is looking for food. Seems like he found it, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
This next one I quite like. MJ is at home waiting for Peter, and she's doing the play in her head, like, is he alive? Is he dead? Like, and she's trying to talk herself. She's worrying about him. And
this was one of the main reasons of their, that led to the downfall of their relationship over the years. She couldn't. It was all right when she was abroad modeling and making money and being a famous model, but she hated the fact that, she would be sitting at home and she'd think that Peter would be out there somewhere doing his thing, as she said, saving the world. She feels bad about it, but eventually she just had enough of it, knowing whether he was alive or dead. And so it does eventually in the years to come. Sorry, I've just got to get rid of a cat I have here. My cat wants to say hello. In the years to come, that sort of degenerates their relationship a little bit.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Kraven is patrolling the rooftops dressed as Spider-Man, and obviously decided to become Spider-Man to prove himself superior to the original. He returns to the mansion having second thoughts, but his subconscious loses the fight, and he drinks a potion, diving into a hallucination where he tries to fight lots of spiders who join to form a huge spider.
Yeah, so don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. Otherwise, you'll end up fighting a huge, fake, dreamlike spider.
And, by drugs, potions as well. You can't take potions. But, Kraven kind of succumbs to the fear, gets drowned by spiders. And this still doesn't freak you out, Ryan?
No, see, I think it's like the way that they're drawn, it's kind of, I just try and say that they're just cockroaches, mutated cockroaches with a few extra legs.
Yeah.
I can sort of get away with that.
Yeah, well, stay on the page and you'll be right. In the sewers, Vermin has finished his dinner and finds a newspaper. He sees a photo of Spider-Man and crawls back in fear, remembering when he and Captain America hurt him. He actually references Captain America.
It does.
Yeah. It's like, name placement. He remembers he's hiding because of them. He decides to go to the surface to show them he's not afraid, but as he peeks outside, he sees a spider and panics.
Yeah, and I like the way, and obviously this just differs from the synopsis a bit, the way that he refers to, he's like, him and that other one, that nasty soldier man with the red, white, and blue, Captain Flag, Captain America. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Another cool thing is he hears footsteps above. And you hear this tick tock, like I've always loved the comic book writing to announce or what's the word?
It's just like adjectives and
reiterating, like,
describing words. Yeah.
It's going. This is the sound. It honestly makes me hear the sound. I can hear that sound. The footsteps are Mary Jane's, who's out looking for Spider-Man, and a couple of guys try to hit on her, but she tells them to get stuffed, and they don't seem to be very happy with it. So in typical all Spider-Man fashion and the thugs in the Spider-Man world, they're like, okay, now we're going to follow her now. At the mansion, Kraven faces his fear and attacks the giant spider, only to be submerged by the spiders. Realizing that to become Spider-Man, he must absorb its essence, he surrenders to it. In the sewers, Vermin hears a calling and understands it's time for revenge. He's out for Spider-Man. I can see where this is going now.
Yes, I bet you can.
Yeah. on the street, MJ is being chased by those guys when Spider Kraven drops in.
I love the look on her face, like she's scared. She's like, okay, Miss Tight Pants, Miss Red Hair, you better, like, as they're, as you said, all men that are rejected in the Spider-Man universe become rapists. And then she's like, oh no, I'm dead, and then she just smiles, and it's like, hey, what are you smiling about? And she's like, oh, nothing, and then down comes who she believes is Peter. Yeah. But he's actually Kraven, and Kraven literally almost murders these three guys.
Yeah, and then she basically says stop, and then he climbs up the wall, and she goes, "That wasn't Peter." It's just like when that's not...
when you know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then Vermin exits the sewers nearby, and he's looking for food with his yum. Did you say yum again? Yes, yum.
He says that a lot. Yeah.
I think I will find some food. Yum. Literally the last word. So it's pretty short. It felt like a short issue with not much.
Yeah, it was back then. Back then, back when I think these 80s, not early 90s, they are a lot shorter. Yeah. But a lot more happens on the page than what does nowadays. Like nowadays, you read a comic and some pages there'd be no narration or no words on them whatsoever. But here, like, we're getting pretty much every panel sort of explaining something. But it's what got me is it's really the first issue that we're seeing no Peter at all.
Yeah, well that's
but you're
true.
Seeing the evolution, you're seeing and I don't know if you picked up on it. You're seeing, obviously when it cuts back every so often to the grave, there's a rat on there, which is sort of hinting through to Vermin, going to chase the Spider-Man, and then on the very last one, you see there's a spider crawling up the grave instead of the rat. So, indicating to me that the chase is on, and we're about to get a big interaction between Kraven Spider, as I call him, and Vermin themselves, because even Wikipedia says that this is one of Vermin's highlights of his so-called villain career, was Kraven's last hunt. So, we're seeing. Look, it's mind you, it's only part 2, and back in the 80s, they love to build things up. They like the slow burn. It's not like where we've come off the last Ronin and it's action, cliffhanger, click. They had a story to tell, and they had to tell it quickly. And whereas this is part of an ongoing Spider-Man saga, so it's just one of the many, many hundreds of tales that have been told within that series.
Look, I'm enjoying it.
That's why I picked it. It's a different era. One, you can see the difference in the art between what was and what is now. Like, obviously, what's more now, a lot of it is done, not really hand drawn. It's more digitized. Whereas back in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s, you're looking at hand drawn, colored. Yeah. Not so much CAD drawn. You're looking at people are actually sitting at a desk coloring and drawing these images as they go. Not to say that digital work isn't just as difficult. I'm just saying you can tell the differences in the art styles. Yeah. And I remember when having these issues when they first came out, they just smelled different. You know what I mean? Like they have that old newspapery smell and feel. And it also gives you an idea of how far writing's come since then, because we're looking at the last Ronin, which essentially came out. Well, I think the first issue came out in 2021 and sort of finished up early this year, late last year. And we're looking at a comic here which is essentially 40 years old, 35, 40 years old. So you can tell a difference in the writing styles as well. Yeah. So it's I thought it was a good idea. One, it's a fantastic story and it's topical. Yeah. And two, it's going to stimulate different emotions and what we've seen in the last Ronin to what was written 40 odd years ago.
I think it's a great pick because like you said, we start off with something modern, but then we jump back 40 years 30 40 years and it's great. Like you can almost see the influences like in modern comics from the older stuff. I love when you find, like, for example, when you find out that when Jamie Johnson was on talking about Turtles, how Ninja Turtles is a love letter to Frank Miller and Daredevil.
Yes.
And like you can see the similarities. Yes. Like I never picked up on it until someone said, "Did you know that this is and then they're going, "Oh, the foot, oh the the hand."
Yeah, the foot, the hand,
Splinter, stick, and you're going, "Wow, this is, but like it's not that obvious if you don't think about it, if you just, and I love when modern comics really take a inspiration and influence from the early stuff.
Oh, well, definitely. I think a lot of stuff, from the 90s to the early 2000s, it was either a love letter to Frank Miller. Well, you got Frank Miller, who's done like The Dark Knight Returns. Obviously, he did things like Daredevil, but then he also had there's one on the tip of my tongue, and it just slipped me. Sin City. He wrote Sin City, which was absolutely great. And then you've got around the same time you've got Alan Moore, who did Watchmen, and he did a really good run on Swamp Thing as well. A lot of it's a very darker toned, nitty gritty street kind of level stuff. Not everything had to be world-ending Thanos or Galactus or whatever. It's all about. This is just simply about a hunter and his prey. And a couple of fights along the way, you know what I mean? I mean, the next issue we get to see, like it's a little preview, it's called Descent. And I think it's called Descent for a few different reasons. The descent into the sewers for the fight with Vermin, and Kraven's descent into madness just a little bit more. So I'm really looking forward to talking about that in a couple of weeks' time as well. But look, around this time you've got amazing artists and writers like John Romita Jr. As I said, Frank Miller, Alan Moore, Todd McFarlane, all these brilliant. It was a very dark time for comics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why we're getting these nitty gritty stories, which I think are quite good. It's quite different from what we're looking at the moment in nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's why I think if we go to a Superman story like All-Star Superman next year, we're going to Happy Days Life. You wait and see. Like All-Star Superman, I think came out around 2012, and you just wait and see the color and writing differentiates a lot. So yeah.
Cool. Well, if we can't think of anything better, then they'll definitely do that one next time. And I actually did, and I told you, but I subscribed to Last Ronin 2.
Yes,
which I'm looking very, very much forward to that. Good finding found a good comic. They probably know me by name now. Comic site that just a store here in Australia that does all the subscription stuff, and it's online and
nice,
super easy.
Well, how are they going to do it? Everyone's dead.
Yeah. No, not everyone's dead, but from the front cover, from the front cover, it looks. Yep. It looks like it's the new 4.
From the Lost Years.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I'm digging. That's my next thing to get into. I'm digging that. I'm just going to go through that. I think it's officially all finished now, so I can get stuck into it.
I got them all there. I love the 5-issue arc. Like it's just easier to collect when it says only 5 issues in this series. It's only 5.
Definitely.
It's just easier. And it's probably smart on their behalf, because I want to collect them all.
Well, and I think that some of the smaller publics, and when I say smaller publics, I don't mean IDW is small by any means, but compared to Marvel and DC, that's what a lot of the smaller companies are doing to stay afloat at the moment. Aside from Image, you just want to tell a story and get people hooked so that they're like, okay, I want another story from from these writers I want a sequel to The Last Ronin, or I want something different. And that's what, at the moment where physical media is with comics at the moment, that's where we're at. And I think it's a great thing because it's not, you don't have to have like I was looking through my list today, and Detective Comics are up to issue 1072. And if you're anyone like me, like a completionist, you want to read them all. It's not so scary to want to read a 5-issue mini arc, but to read over 1,000 issues of an amazing comic. So, and you got to remember, Batman, Detective Comics, even though they've got 1072, they switched over to Batman at issue 27. So that's still a big. that's over 1,050 issues you've got to go through.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it when they do these. I like the small mini arcs and that's why I don't mind the Elseworld tales as well, because it gives you a chance to sort of read a story without having to know everything about everything.
Yeah. 100%.
But no, I'm definitely enjoying this.
I want to go back. I want to go back and read all of the Phantom, but I can't find anything. I don't know where to start. It's just like I can't even find a new series. It's just like just go down to
no, because it's never actually like I think it's just it's been the one series the whole time through.
I know, and it's just like
it's insane.
It's just like I just want to read some Phantom, like
Yeah.
I used to read I used to read the little strips in the newspaper and all that. Like just give me some volumes, and I just want to crack into it. You make money off me, man. But they're like, no, we don't. We're going to make this impossible for you to.
But yet it's still the only one you were guaranteed to see in every newsagent out here.
Yeah.
You'll be guaranteed to see every single comic place out here. So but
just not an omnibus, just not an omnibus. That's like
I think I was going to say it'd be like
a meter.
It'd be it'd be huge. It'd be absolutely huge. But no, I'm really, really, really enjoying this. I'm glad we're doing Spider-Man with the new Spider-Man game coming out soon.
Yes, very soon.
Which I'm very, very excited for. Steph and I made a promise to each other when I get my money from my super. Everything is going on bills, but we get to buy one game each, and I'm going to buy Spider-Man, damn it. Awesome. Because I can guarantee you it's worth the money because I've replayed the first one and Miles Morales over and over about 10 times at least already. Yeah. So it's definitely good money.
I walked into work today and there were calendars sitting there, and I just picked up a pen and wrote on the Monday of the weekend of Spider-Man, RDO.
Yeah, nice.
Like I'm not working this day. 3-day weekend.
I think you and me will be very quiet over that weekend.
Yes. Yeah, dude. I'm
looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Well, this may have been a little bit of a shorter episode, guys, but thank you for listening. As always, if you want to reach out, send an email to thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at stories_podcast. And if you're Big Bad Toy Store listening or AussieComics.com, reach out, be a sponsor. Head on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF. Link in the show notes.
Just send Jamie an email, send us some free stuff, because I guarantee you I've spent more money on comics and comic related things in my life than anything else in my entire life. So if you want to be kind and show some of that love, hit us up and send us some stuff. But if you guys are listening and you've got an arc that you think that we should be listening to, hit us up. 9 times out of 10 we'll be able to track it down.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're a video game developer or a comic book writer, we'll do reviews and we'll be honest about them. We won't be like Rotten Tomatoes and IGN. And
we cannot be bought. Well, yes we can, but we just won't tell anyone about it.
And you won't know that we've been bought.
Yes, exactly.
Or something like that.
Then I'll unblur my back and you just see. Proudly sponsored by AussieComics.com.
100%. All right, guys. We'll catch you in a fortnight for the next issue of Kraven's Last Hunt. Next week, it'll either be a main episode or a story chat episode, but we'll leave you hanging there. We'll see what happens.
You just have to tune in to find out.
Yes. The title of the episode will be blank. It'll be ... All right, guys. Catch you next time.
See you next time.